How to make corn soup. First, grab 2 bags of dried beans. Cover with water and let soak for about a good 3 hours. Set aside. Next, add 4 cups of corn, dry corn, white corn, 1 quart, and another quart, 2 quarts, pour in, cover with water, let boil. As you can see, the corn is starting to boil. So at this time, we're going to add 3 cups of ashes, which is hardwood ashes, sifted, so that all the big chunks of briquettes can come out. So you have like a fine powder. So you're going to add, I'm adding 3 cups to every quart of corn. So I got 2 quarts of corn in there. So I'm going to add 6 cups of ashes. And if I could have my assistant finish videoing while I do this. As you can see, the corn or the wood ashes are pretty. That's about 3 cups. Really more like 4. But we're going to add it into the corn mixture, the boiling corn. And you need to always kind of always use a stainless steel pan and a wooden spoon. So you're going to always need a wooden spoon for these ashes because these ashes are pretty fierce. And as you can see, the corn is starting to turn orange. That's a good sign that your ashes are working. And you're going to stir this. Stir that up. And now we're going to put our next 3 cups in. Usually I only use 2, but I had really good results last time when I used 3 cups. So now we're going to put the other 3 cups in. And this is how we're going to clean the corn. Again, stir. And then we're going to let this boil for a good hour and a half. Probably a good hour and a half. Adding more water when it starts getting unstirrable. Now you can see how all the corn has turned orange from these ashes. So, we're going to just let that boil. And we're going to let it boil hard. We're going to keep the heat up high. So we got the heat on high. But you have to make sure you keep stirring. Because if the ashes start sticking to the bottom of the pan, you're going to have a mess. So every once in a while, come and take a stir. Okay, as you can see, it's starting to get thick. So that's why you have to keep checking. Stir all the way down on the bottom. You got to go way down to the bottom of the pan. Stir around all those sides. To keep that cooking hard. All around the edges. All around the edges you want to get. The bottom of the pan. Give it a good old stir. Try not to ingest the fumes of the corn, of the fumes coming up off of this. I just don't think it's real good for your lungs, so. Just try not to breathe in that. You take a smell of it, it smells so good. It smells just like corn soup. And we're going to let that cook a little more and probably add some more water. So I'm going to need a cup of water, put another 4 cups of water in. Stir that in real good. All around the sides. And we're going to continue to let that boil. Okay, as you can see, we're into about an hour of the soup boiling with the ashes in it for about an hour. And it looks just like mud. But we got it boiling. And it's starting to get really sticky on the bottom. So you really got to start keeping the stirring going on the bottom of the pan. Because you're going to get like thick. See how thick it is? So you got to make sure you're getting in all those little crevices down on the bottom. What your soup's going to look like. How we're going to clean it. Okay, so what I did was I took the, kept stirring, and almost kind of looks like a mud soup, but I took the spoon and I took it into the, just to test it. And I kind of got the corn clean so I could look at it to see if the hull was falling off.
Is it ready?
So it's been about an hour and a half. So I put, checking the corn to make sure that the hulls are going to fall off easy. And by the hull, I mean the little black thing in the corn.
Okay.
So now we're going to take this and we're going to go rinse it. You do not rinse this or drain this in your house, because if you do, you will, open the door, Chloe, you will ruin your sink, ruin your drain system. I got an extra hot pitcher of water here. Just hot water. And we're going to take it and we're going to rinse it. Yep. And what we did was we are pouring all the soup and straining it outside, because you don't want this in your, you don't want this stuff goes down your drain. Go get another pitcher full of that one. And the wooden spoon. So we're just kind of letting it rinse, because you don't want this stuff going down your drain. And you see, it's going to be sticky. You can stay on it and stir it all night, but you're still going to get a little bit of stickiness. So we're going to rinse that, strain that out. And when we're done with that, we're going to rinse it a couple times so that all this lye goes down, or all the wood ash goes down outside and not inside our house. straight. So as you can see, it's starting to clear up. You can see on the ground all the wood ashes that's got on the ground. But you want to kind of get this kind of
You should have that water ready.
clear before. And make sure you have a happy husband when you're doing this, because otherwise you get a crabby man making your corn soup. And you want to have nice thoughts when you're making food.
I want it to turn out good. Just pour it in there.
You want it to turn up good. Okay, so that's pretty much what you're going to have.
Okay, now
And
the
then
rest
you
of
can-
it's gonna have to do inside.
We're going to rinse the rest of it inside, but we got the majority of all that ash out here in the yard. Okay, so now we brought it in from outside, and as you can see on the side of the bowl, you can see all these little black things. That's a good sign. That means that the corn is going to clean good. So now we're just going to dump that over. Just dump it all in the sink.
Wait, ew.
Yep. And I got this amazing sink. I love my farmer sink. But I'm gonna just rinse off the strainer, and we're gonna just let the water run on this corn. We're gonna rinse this out. Stick it here. Finish rinsing it, and then we're gonna stick it right in here. But as you can see the little hulls falling off the corn already. Each one of these corns has a black hull in it. Ooh, see the black hull? That's what you want off your corn. So if it's done, if it's ready to be clean, it's going to come off very easily. It's going to slide right off of your corn. Okay. Now, all you're going to do right now is kind of swoosh around the corn all over, because you're going to want to get all this.
This satisfies
Oh, did you just put all my corn down the drain? Yes. Be careful, because this is your corn. And if you let it all go down, you have to be very careful with that. But the reason that I put it the way that I put it in my sink is because those little hulls are so small that they go right through this little grate on the sink drainer, and the corn doesn't go through, which is a good thing, unless you move the corn, unless you move the whole.
Grandma, you cleaned the sink, right?
Yes,
Okay,
this sink was washed thoroughly before we did this. So, but see, now we got all this out of here. And if you just keep these little corns out of here and keep this, all these little, see the little holes? They're all just going down the drain.
What if you didn't?
And that's
do
what
this
you want.
step,
Except for, I think you may have a sink full of corn here. When you let this, I think you may have a bunch in here. So we're gonna have to let that water down. See all the little, I love this sink. And this little sink thing here. Because it's really easy to, yep. You got all my corn in the sink. See what happened? She let the, but, so, now that we got, we're gonna stick this back in there. And then all those little holes are gonna go down that drain. And we're just gonna keep spraying this. Just keep running around spraying it. See all the holes coming out? And they're gonna go right down the drain. And you're gonna keep cleaning and cleaning and cleaning this corn until this water becomes clear. And we're gonna clean this for about a good hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. And until all the corn is clean and all those little black hulls are gone off this corn. And then we'll go from there. Okay, now we're gonna just take a little look at the beans that have been sitting there for a couple hours. As you can see, they've really soaked up the water. So I'm going to add some more water to the beans. Just going to add some more water. And I like to use bottled water when I'm making my soup just because I'm pretty particular about that. Unfortunately, cleaning our corn, we have to use the regular water that we get from Erie County. But this is the corn cleaning process. And it's looking pretty good. So the corn's cleaning up pretty good. We got those little hulls floating all over the place. And we've got a little spray nozzle on this piece. So as you can see, it's a long process cleaning this corn. And you lose a few kernels along the way. Okay, as you can see, the corn is still really got a lot of hulls coming out of it yet. Still needs a lot of washing. The water is still milky colored. You want to clean this corn until you don't see the milky looking water anymore. So we try to rinse with warm water just because it keeps the corn warm. This is looking pretty good because, you know, when you don't hardly see any black hulls left on your corn, that's pretty good. So we're getting close. Okay, as you can see now, the corn is starting, we're seeing less and less black hulls floating around. So we're doing good. Okay, so now as you can see, we're moved out of the sink. Now we're into the pan, and I'm just like kind of running my hand through the corn and just kind of jiggling it, and then I'm going to let the little hulls just come off. And you see how the water's still kind of milky yet? You want to have clear water running. So we're just going to keep rinsing and rinsing, and then we're going to be almost ready to start cooking it. So you can see what a process it is and how long it takes to make this. Some of our traditional people, they have corn baskets, which my grandma had one. My grandma Snow had one, and we can't find it now. It's been many years, but they had a basket that was made out of birch, and you would just strain your corn and use the basket to get these little hulls off.
Can't you use that strainer right there?
And we can use a strainer now, today's day. But look at, you can't hardly even see a black hull in there now. You see one. So I'm teaching my granddaughters how to make corn soup so that when I'm gone, they'll know how to keep carrying on our tradition. Like my mom taught me. The only thing I don't know how to make is cornbread, which we're going to have another video coming up when we can get that made.
I don't like cornbread.
It is really good. If you get somebody that makes it real good, it's good.
I had it at school and it was super dry.
Yeah, that's why, because it's not good when it's dry. It's got to be moist. Okay, so we got almost all the hulls off of the soup. So now we're gonna just rinse, make sure all the soot's off.
Guys, be quiet.
Hey, we're making a video here. You guys need to zip it. Now we're just gonna squirt this down. Make sure all the soot's gone out of the ashes, out of the corn. And we're going to be ready to throw this on the stove. As you can see, there's no more black hulls. Maybe one here or there, but ready. Okay, so now that we have all the corn clean and rinsed, we're gonna stick it in the pan, strain our beans, and start cooking. Soaking for a couple hours. We're gonna just strain those. Pick out the bad ones. Rinse them off.
They remind me of almonds.
Sometimes you can find like stones in here, so you gotta kind of go through them and rinse them. And those are looking pretty good. And these are just dried kidney beans. We're just gonna mix it up. Set it on the stove. I like using bottled water in my soup. I prefer the Evian brand water.
Not sponsored.
What?
Oh.
And you want to cover the soup pretty good because it swells, and you want to put a lot of water. Let's see, 3, 4, 5 bottles so far, and we're going to put at least 3 more in. Because I like my soup soupy.
Why did these 3 float? It's kind of bothering me.
Why did those 3 beans float? Good question.
They screwed that.
We don't know why they're floating. And then the only thing we have left to add into this is the salt pork. And we're putting it on high again. Then once we bring it to a boil, then we'll turn it down and let it simmer for a good 2 hours. So if you got a half a pot of corn and beans, you should have a half a pot of water. because you want soup, you don't want mush. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 bottles I put in, and I may end up putting another couple bottles in at the end. So, okay, so now we're gonna
Cut open the salt pork.
and this one is already been scored already into slices. So I'm gonna just rinse it off. I'm gonna rinse the salt pork off really good and throw it in the soup. Oh, it's already,
Kind of looks like bacon.
yeah, it is bacon, but look at that. See that little piece of
Yeah.
fat? You don't want to eat that. It's like the real piggy part of the pig. The piggy bit. I don't know what's called. The rind is what it's called. So I'm just going to rinse this off and stick it in the soup. Just as is. These other ones that come in a full piece, I'm just going to score the sides of each of them. As you can see, it's a whole piece. So I'm just going to cut. A lot of times people, they just boil it for like 2 minutes, 2-3 minutes to get the majority of the salt off. I like my soup a little salty, so I'm not going to do that today. So I'm just scoring this, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to rinse it off. And so as you can see, it's still holding together with that little piece of rind. I'm going to just throw those little piggies in here. And then I'm going to just rinse this. And that'll take most of the salt off. I don't want all the salt off because I want some salt for the soup. And just throw that in there. And I'm putting about 3 pieces in for 2 quarts. But back in the day, this was what we ate without the pork. I don't believe we had pigs back then. But we've added this pig for our soup to give it flavor. But really, this corn that we're cooking is a white corn, and it is really consists of a lot of protein versus the yellow corn that you see that we eat in the summertime. This corn is a lot of protein in it. So that's why we ate corn, beans, and squash, because their protein was coming from this plant of the corn. So I've been told. I'm not a scientist, but that's what I was told. That is has a lot of protein in it. This corn, this special corn. This is our native corn. And if you don't have a really sharp knife to cut your salt pork, you can always freeze it, throw it in the freezer, and then use a knife and cut it. But it's kind of going to all fall apart pretty soon once it starts cooking. So then again, I'm just rinsing it, leaving the rind on the back to hold it together. And then once it starts cooking good, then we'll take the back off. Now, ta-da, it's on, it's cooking. And we're going to let it cook for about 2 hours.
How many hours?
2 hours to cook it, I'd say. Sometimes it can get done earlier. Depends. Cook. You're going to find a few little eyes floating around you're going to want to try to get. Just let that boil. For watching my corn soup video.